Can urban agriculture be a sustainable alternative solution to food security? Food security is a global issue that has been discussed at great lengths for decades, which makes sense because food is an integral part of our everyday lives. So much so that in 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights suggested that access to nutritious food is a basic human right. But what does it actually mean to be food secure? Well, according to the UN in 1991, a person can be considered food secure when they have access to the food they need for a healthy life and when they are not at undue risk of losing such access. This idea of equal access to food should not be an unachievable goal. The Millennium Development Goals were set up in the year 2000, which aimed to reduce hunger and malnutrition, alongside the alleviation of other critical issues by the year 2015. This was a partial success, as global hunger and malnutrition did diminish by 10.9%. Yet, in 2018, 792 million people still suffered from starvation. On a worldwide scale, food security is a huge concern, but in the UK there is a hidden hunger pandemic, triggered by food poverty. As of 2016, more than 8 million people within the UK live in food poverty, and in 2019 alone, there was a 19% increase in the amount of people using and relying on food banks to put food on the table. It is clear that the issue of food insecurity and poverty should not simply be relegated to an issue for the developing world. The UK imports approximately half of the food we consume, with large quantities, around 30%, being food imported from the EU, and the remaining shared between Africa, Asia, North and South America. This reliance on other nations to provide the UK with a stable supply of affordable food is tenuous at best, and is heavily dependent on providing countries having a reliable climatic system. In the wake of climate change, patterns and distributions of precipitation are variable, which the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predicts could alter food production yields and increase food prices. This could be anywhere between 3 to 84% by 2050. This is not sustainable for most average income households, never mind the 14 million people living in relative poverty in the UK, 8 million of which already struggle to afford basic food supplies. But why is food such a scarce resource, and are there any alternative modes of production? Tornaghi, an academic from the University of Leeds, critically studies the role of food production in relation to the city. She states that capital accumulation has appropriated and naturalised the commercialisation of land, depriving human beings of the right to feed themselves. This suggests that the right to farm our own land has been removed and appropriated for profit, dating back to feudal times in which public land that peasants relied on to provide food and resources for their families were claimed by the lords and the wealthier in society. They enclosed them, physically excluding people from access to land. This forces dependency on capitalist markets merely to accumulate profit, deepening the divide between the haves and have-nots in society. This is still reflected today, yet it is normalised, and those who cannot afford to do a weekly shop are hidden behind the 1,200 food banks around the country. The Marxist academic David Harvey would argue that this locks people out of their right to the city, a theory that every individual has the right to occupy space within the city and utilise the urban landscape for their own needs. Cities are a crucial element within this narrative and are predicted to become increasingly more important, as it is predicted that 68% of the global population will live in cities by 2050. Herein lies the alternative route to food production: urban agriculture. Urban agriculture can take many different forms and provides a multitude of benefits to both individuals, society and the environment, whilst also allowing people to purposefully occupy space with intention. Urban agriculture is simply utilising space in urban landscapes such as cities like Leeds and repurposing unused green spaces to create food growing plots which anybody is allowed to take part in and reap the benefits from. True success story is that of Incredible Edible, which was initiated in Todmorden, a town on the Yorkshire-Lancashire border, and has grown in popularity since it started in 2008. Founded in a working class area, it encouraged people to freely engage with both food consumption and production, opening up a conversation about access to food and nutrition. Comparatively to the surrounding cities, Todmorden is a small-scale town, but the same ideas and logic could be rolled out onto a larger scale. Let's take Leeds as an example. As aforementioned, there are numerous ways that you can engage with urban agriculture. Perhaps you live in a flat with no garden, but you have a window. Certain herbs and fruits can be grown in a windowsill container. Or if there's no green space, but there is a flat roof, this could be converted into a rooftop garden. Or simply joining a community allotment. These can be individual plots or shared to cut costs. All of the above are effective ways of alleviating stress, of accessing affordable, nutritious foods without the luxury of a private garden. To prove that this is an achievable citywide plan, I have plotted different areas around the Leeds Beckett campus that could be repurposed and also allow public access to reduce the feeling of exclusion. Plot A presents a walkway that is adjacent to Woodhouse Lane. It runs alongside the Rose Bowl car park. This area has an enormous amount of potential. There are already some trees that could easily be replaced by common fruit trees, allowing the public access to healthy foods such as fruits. This is especially important in this area of campus, as access to affordable nutritious food is few and far between. As well as this, the plot underneath the tree is not currently utilised, so it could be turned into areas for raised planters for things like root vegetables or herbs. Plot B and C illustrate the potential for food plots around the broadcasting tower. Here there is a courtyard, which is merely used as a transition zone between buildings. This space could offer a unique and inclusionary community garden, as there is public access, therefore no one is locked out of an otherwise enclosed space. Photograph C also shows a bird's eye view of the building and highlights the fact that there are some solar panels on the roof in the far corners. However, on the rest of the building, it is a flat, empty space, making it ideal for a diverse, secluded rooftop garden. Rooftop gardens are the perfect spot for root vegetables such as potatoes, carrots and beetroot, as they are more durable in windy conditions that may accompany a rooftop garden. Urban agriculture truly is accessible, as in many of these cases, consuming the food does not have to mean back-breaking work, as freedom to pick the produce is encouraged even if you didn't contribute to the production. It is an effective solution to increasing accessibility to nutrient-dense foods, especially in food deserts, and promotes community cohesion through the sharing of knowledge and resources. Implementing these strategies in areas such as Oakland, California, has been suggested to increase the yields of vegetables by up to 5%, even in the most conservative of estimates. These are just some simple ways in which everybody can engage with urban agriculture to better enhance their nutritional access, whilst also encouraging inclusivity and offering a real antidote for living in the profit-driven neoliberal city.